Hello everyone, so this is Alpha Sentry, and welcome back to another Scrolls match. This is going to be the first match in the second round of the first Casual Scrolls tournament. So this is basically the finals. Before we had a group of 3 games and we won that group, winning all 3 games, so that's put us into the top group. And now we play everyone in the top group, and if we win all of our games here as well, then we will win the tournament. So our first opponent here is Valentine, who I've played against a fair amount already, just had some practices, had some scrims, given him some time, a chance to figure out how to play against our deck, just, to even the playing field a little bit. Yeah, so today it's going to be a little bit different from how I've done them before. So I've actually just a couple of days ago moved back, spending a few weeks with my family. So I've moved across the country for a couple of weeks. I'm Canadian, by the way. Yeah, so I played this. I was still jet lagged. I played it at 2 in the morning. Didn't want to do live commentary because I feel like that would be a little bit disrespectful and annoying to the rest of my family. So I'm recording this the day after. We're just going to go back over and watch the games. I haven't looked at them again since last night, so they will be fresh to me as well. So, spoiler alert, which you can see in the video anyway. The set was about an hour long, so I've decided it would be better to speed it up. So what you're watching right now is 1.5 times speed, so just make for a shorter video. I will say though, this music, Scrolls music at 1.5 times speed, is kind of popping. So I'll start talking about the match now, I suppose. So I'm, as expected, playing this late game growth deck that I think is amazing. Up against some kind of decay deck. I'm expecting Witch Doctors, Watchers, Necrogeddons, Humans, Harvesters, Rot Eaters. I don't know, I've only ever seen one decay deck like this. It's just kind of mid-range decay. Just a very solid mid-range deck. Never really had any bad matchups in the past, or, had a reasonable matchup spread. So I'm not too worried going into this though, because I have already managed to assemble Noedi End of Reason, which is, Quakes don't quite do the job against Decay, but Noedi End of Reason can clear up the board, no problem. So I'm still not very worried. Just kind of slow rolling all my cards, playing my tree, trying to get some value. Siping something with the Veteran when I'm able. The Harvester, a little worrying, but I have the Unground for it now. Just before this, I'll mention I did make a quick change to the deck, which is to add in the 3rd Unground. Because as I've been playing it, I've kind of realised that Unground isn't just a good card to get off Mystic. It's just a good card in general, and I want to be drawing them when I'm not just using Mystic as well. Like you can see here, it's great. It makes me not have to fit the Harvester. Okay, he plays right into End of Reason. Maybe he wasn't expecting me to have Rat King Noedi End of Reason so early, but at this point I'm thinking, okay, this is just too juicy to give up. I get to keep my tree, get to keep my Brave, and just get to wipe his whole board. I'm all on board for that. And already it kind of negated any kind of early pressure he was applying with this Noedi End of Reason play. Just wipe everything. And we're ahead on resources, ahead on cards, ahead on board. And when our deck is built for the late game, you'd think we'd be doing well. And then he plays Sleep Moratorium into Nuru a turn early. Okay. So that's a cool combo, shows that, maybe he's trying to out late game us. And when I saw that, I remember thinking, does this work? Can you out late game growth with late game decay? And I thought, there's no way that works. Like, this deck is just so good in the late game. So, okay, we just throw down the Veteran to hit the Nuru, get some damage on it. I'm hoping maybe I can clear the way with Noedi Godhand to take out whatever he blocks with. He blocks with a virus, which is just a big fat slab of meat, which is going to stop me from actually clearing the Naru with a Godhand. But okay, not to worry. I'm still not really that worried. I mean, what does he get? He gets 2 husks coming in with haste, and then Varus doesn't really do anything either. So I figure, okay, we'll just keep going with that game plan. You know, play some dudes. Doesn't really matter, I feel like, at this point. We're just 2 Godhands in hand, we can just do whatever we want, it kind of feels like. So, okay, he gets the husk spawns that let him take out the tree. Not the end of the world, but that's got to be good for him. You know, it's important not to get complacent when you're so far ahead like this. Kind of feel like, you know, I'm playing chess and I'm, you know, up a minor piece, and as long as you play well, you'll win. But if you make a mistake, you don't think about your opponent's outs, you know, it's possible to lose these games. So okay, Roti to N Harvester, putting on a bit of pressure, but I mean, okay, we can clear a bunch of stuff with Noedi Godhand. So I think it's time just to crush any hope he had of getting back into this game. Just reset his board. He gets just 1 big Rot Eater, and we have the next Godhand coming in next turn. And this is where we kind of put it to the test, right? We're in the late game. We have a board. He has kind of a board as well that we can't immediately deal with completely. So we get to see which of these 2 decks is really going to be dominant in the late game. And at this point I'm still confident that it's me, but we'll find out. So I'm able to clear the Nuru with a Godhand and take out an idol. Well, that's not really important in this kind of matchup, I don't think. So it's just whether I want to use my whole turn and a card going 1 for 1 with his Nuru, which, you know, you have to imagine that's probably fine. The other option is to just play some structures, you know, maybe play a sister, get our own game plan rolling. But he is down to 1 card in hand, and Nuru has got to be one of the better cards in his deck, so in the end I decide, let's just get that Nuru off the board, take out an idol, why not? And we can start our own plan rolling next turn with the trees, with the Skythorn. Rot Eater is getting a little big, but you know, all it takes is 1 unground to wipe that off the board. And I have the 3rd one in the deck now. He does have a Damning Curse, but I don't really even care about my Sister of the Owl at this point, right? It's not about the minions, it's just about ramping, just about drawing more cards, just trying not to die, and I'm pretty confident we'll take over in the late game here. So just playing some more stuff for cantrips, and keep sacking for resources. I'm not going to try to justify all of the little decisions I make at this point, just because, for one thing, it was pretty late at night and I'm not convinced I would stand by them now anyway. And the other reason, you know, we just got to that point of the game where I just don't think my decisions really matter so much anymore. As long as I'm spending my mana, playing cards, dealing with his threats, there's not so much that the late game Decay deck can do to really come back here. Right, so this was one of his plays, which is, sure, it's going to clear all my minions, but like I said, I don't really care about the minions. I'm just, you know, just play another tree, keep on ramping. Got some Vengeful Vators, which looking really good, especially with that rallying. This is one of the ways that the game really pulls ahead in the late game. Sorry, that our deck really pulls ahead in the late game. Is plays like Vengeful Vator, rallying, and you just ramp by 2 resources immediately. And you get the rallying effect, which is going to draw us cards thanks to these trees. If you think about it, next time we'll cast Rallying, it'll draw us 2 scrolls and ramp us by 2 resources. And you're making all your creatures attack immediately. and it only costs 5 mana, so that's kind of why I feel like this deck is pretty much unstoppable in the late game. Like, one of the best late game cards in the game for a long time was Imperial Resources, and we're just kind of making that look shameful here. So yeah, we're gonna play our Mystic before we play Rallying, get even an extra scroll by using the effect. And at this point we're 4 resources ahead. I would say also ahead on board, ahead on cards. There goes the second idol. Okay, Valentine goes to Sleep Moratorium. Grabs another Nuru, I imagine. Yeah, he's on 10 mana. But, you know, just how do you come back from this? What do you do? Sure, you can play minions. And your minions can kill my minions. But you're just so far behind on resources and cards, and the engine just keeps going and it keeps going and it keeps going. So okay, I don't get another rallying effect here, so we're not going to be able to draw 3 more cards right this second. But get another Skythorn so we can get that rolling at the same time. Get the draw immediately off it with Rat King if we want. And he's going to get to clear one of our units, probably the Veta with his Flightbearer. But there is plenty more where that came from. And then we get another Rat King, so we're going to be able to trigger Skythorn next turn regardless. Yeah, I mean, okay, he kills our Mystic, but another Languid on another Veta, but I think it's a bit late to try and stop us here. And one of the big issues here, I think, is that what's really doing the work is these trees and that Skythorn, because I don't care if you kill the creatures. I'm getting value off my structures. And Decay just doesn't have good ways to interact with structures. They have to kill them with their own creatures. We're kind of keeping his creatures busy with our creatures. And yeah, this is exactly why. You have to kill the growth creatures, because we just drew our 3rd God Hand, and that's going to wipe your board. But really you should, I think, be focusing on the structures. I don't know. Not great at playing against this deck. I only play as it, so couldn't really tell you how to beat it. So yeah, at this point just working out the best God Hand. Probably want to go for Rat King God Hand and just not going to be able to clear everything. Gonna get some of my units poisoned, but it really just doesn't matter at this point. Maybe I even have lethal. Maybe not. I don't think so. Yeah, you know, God Hand, draw 3 cards. His Rottit is poisoned. I get a Rampen. His idols are taking a beating. Yeah, I just don't really know what to say at this point. I mean, the game's over. You could very easily resign at this point, but Valentine, true Scrolls player, gonna fight it through to the bitter end. I will probably resign at this point. Okay, Oblivion Seeker, 5 mana, draw 2. Sure. He's just not playing the same game as us. We have the Rallying, so we're going to be able to trigger all of our draw structures one more time. Probably take out that Harvester with an Unground. I don't know. Again, at this point, as long as I'm spending my mana and playing cards and drawing more cards, I don't think whatever I do matters at all. So, okay. Guess I wanted to do it this way. Let's try and take out the Rot Eater. Sure. Play an OAD for no value. Why not? $14 resources. Grip for the cards. Honestly, poor Valentine. It's impressive tenacity sticking it through like this. Because, you know, I've played all 3 God Hands. I have to reset my deck and then find a God's Hand to probably win, otherwise I'm not going to be able to punch through his creatures. So it's going to take a while for this game to end. Soul Steel, trigger the Harvester. He can clear a row of mine, but I don't care. You know, he's just playing some more meat that I have to beat through. There goes all my creatures, and I'm still just in such a commanding spot. Yeah, I think at this point I'm actually gonna speed up even more and stop talking, and we'll just see how the game plays out. I think here I was a little worried about randomly losing to some huge Watch Again shenanigans, so that's why I put the Unground on the Watcher. And yeah, I'm trying to be mindful of filling up every single spot on my side of the board, which wouldn't let me do anything. So that I'm trying to always leave one spot open in case I want to go No End of Reason or something like that. Okay, so this is the last turn of the match. It's a nice little spot the lethal for you guys. I don't know, maybe I've had lethal for the last 10 turns and just never noticed it, but at this point I finally noticed the lethal. He's left an idol, protected only by some 2 health dudes. So I just slam that Quake. Sister of the Owl surviving to take out 3rd idol. And there we go, that's the end of the first game versus Valentine. I think probably the critical moment there was really early on turn 7 or so, when he played his 2nd Witch Doctor directly behind his row of Tribesman Witch Doctor. And then I just happened to already have assembled the No AD Racking End of Reason combo to just blow up any kind of early pressure he wanted to have there. And you know, once I'm on 8 mana, board is stable, and we're kind of even, then my deck is just going to take over. You really need to get ahead early, and the End of Reason combo stopped him doing that, so that's about all I would say about that game. Here we go on to round 2, and I see turn 1 sack for growth, no Vengeful Vator, or no Vator of the Wild, and then I think he passes turn 2 as well here, so I'm thinking, okay, he's taking me to the mirror, wants to beat me with late game growth. Maybe he's playing my version, maybe he's playing a version with Jarls and Great Wolves and Mangy Wolves and whatever, like the kind that Nerp favors. Either way, I'm feeling pretty good, you know. I feel pretty good about the mirror, especially if he's playing my version. I don't know, maybe that's cocky, but just I haven't lost a mirror yet, so there we go. Also, he hasn't made a play yet, and it's turn 3. Now he passes turn 4 as well. It's either he has the worst starting hand in the history of the universe, or he's just hoping to slam a Quake on turn 5 for some reason. Maybe, I don't know, maybe that's how he meant to play Growth. Or maybe he just has a handful of late game cards. Either way, I'm not thinking about Kinfolk Veteran here, probably because it was like approaching 3 in the morning. So I get Veteran, but you know, it happens. We have the veteran to veteran his veteran. Start these veteran wars. And he didn't play Quake on turn 5, so I was a bit worried of, you know, overcommitting to the board and getting quaked. So this is fine. If we're just going to go back and forth with Kinfolk Veterans, then I'm the one with the Skythorn on the board, so I'm getting an extra card out of this deal. So I'm not too worried about losing the veteran wars, and there we go. The third veteran coming through. Sadly, I don't have the fourth veteran to get him back there. At this point, okay, I think he's on late game Growth. I decide I'm just gonna sack this End of Reason. It's not an aggro matchup where I need to be swinging the board back into my favor. He's just playing a late game Growth. Maybe that was a bit premature. Maybe if he goes something like Sister of the Owl, Jarl, for the next couple turns, I'd wish that I had the End of Reason still. But, you know, we'll draw another one. And having those 2 cards just sitting in your hand is a real cost. Especially in the early stages before you have your engine fully rolling. So I just decided to get rid of it and we'll suffer the consequences. Yeah, he's not sacking up, not playing some big beefy dudes, so I'm not too worried. And yeah, we see the Skythorn, so at this point I'm convinced he's on my version. And he's just going to play a naked Ragged Wolf and hit the idol. So I don't know. I feel like that's not optimal. It's definitely not how I would have played it. But he's clearly just trying to get value out of his Skythorn as quickly as possible. Which, okay, you can play that way. I'm not saying it's wrong. Might not be wrong. Yeah, here I make the decision to play the no AD. Just because that's going to trigger both of my Skythorns and get me an extra card, so the no AD is essentially cantripping. We do end up drawing the End of Reason right away, so maybe I got a little bit punished. And okay. Now I've got Veteran PTSD, so I'm trying to play around Veteran again here. Though I suppose looking back, he's already played 2, so the chances he has the 3rd are quite slim. So maybe that was not the smartest, but okay. Yeah, we've got Eventual Rager going off next turn, and we have 2 Skythorns, so we're already winning the resource war. He's, I want to say, squandered a card in hand just by shooting his Ragged Wolf with an idol, but that's okay. Looking next turn to probably sack the End of Reason for cards. Just get some stuff going. Yeah. We're already ahead. Already ahead. And here he decides to unground the Sister of the Owl. And he's just going to play a second Skythorn. And I think I'm not going to call it a mistake, because I'm not convinced that I'm some amazing wizard with this deck, but I would have definitely played it differently. I would have probably hit Unground onto the beta and killed it immediately. Because me getting that extra ramp in is a really big game. Because if you think about it, in Scrolls you can either sack for resources or Scrolls. So each time you sack for resources, you're essentially costing yourself 2 Scrolls that you could have drawn. So getting the pillage off with the Veta and ramping by resources is basically the same as drawing 2 scrolls. So that's huge. It's absolutely huge in these grindy resource battles like the mirror match. And another difference between us, I'll point out, is Skythorn positioning. He's kind of using his, like you would traditionally use structures. Like if you're playing a useless contraption in your ranged energy deck, I don't know, something like that. You play them in front so that you can block for your minions, and your minions can do the minion battle, and the structures just get in the way. And he's playing them in the, not the middle, but the 2 next to it, so the 2nd and the 4th rows, because that's giving him the greatest reach with his protected minions, letting him hit all of my rows while keeping his minions protected. And I'm doing something completely different. I'm slapping my structures down in the middle of the lanes, in the top, middle, and bottom. And the reason for this is just, I think I value them a lot more than he does. Yeah, while I'm talking about this, I draw into God Hand, and I'm on 8 resources, he's on 5. I get to just play God Hands and wipe his board. And there you see, if I hadn't got the pillage off with the Veta, I wouldn't have been able to God Hand that turn, and he would have got to swing back with some of his minions. But now I've got 2 more hits in with the Veta, so I'm up on 10 resources, about to draw a scroll from both of my Skythorns, God Hand next turn if I want it. I've cleared his board, so the game's basically over at this point. So just like that, I've got massively ahead. I mean, he cast Fertile Soul to draw 3 cards, okay. But I've just got in 3 ramps with the Vengeful Vetas, so that's 3 resources, the equivalent of 6 cards. So, and again, now I play a minion, both of my Skythorns, draw me another card, and yeah, I'm just miles and miles ahead here. I think we're gonna go for the God Hand here, get an even more ramp. Yeah, there, we've doubled his resources in just a couple of turns there. So this is why it's really important to not let you prioritize killing those Vetas, not let them get in the very first ramp, because then you just snowball ahead from there. Yeah, I'll finish my thought talking about the structure positioning. I like putting them there because really I don't care about my creatures so much as I think most people. And you can see here, I'm just using these rats to chump block for my structures, because I really don't want these structures to die, because they're what's giving me draw, they're what's giving me the advantage. Yeah, here we just go for the 2nd Fertile Soil, and I've just drawn so many cards, got so many resources. The game is absolutely over at this point. So, and yeah, I've got the God Hand in hand to win the game in the next turn or 2, and he's playing Growth, he's not playing Decay, so he's not going to be able to defend his idols so well, probably. Yeah, I mean, he doesn't really want to Quake, right? He's just blowing up his own dudes. Okay, so he plays his own No End of Reason combo to wipe out all of my structures, all of my units, apart from that one Skythorn. But yeah, I'm still just so far ahead. You can clear the board if you want, but when I have double your resources and way more cards in hand, it just doesn't make that much of a difference. Let me see here, I think I was looking for lethal here with Rat King No AD God Hand. I don't think there's lethal quite yet. So, just play some stuff. Set up for Rat King God Hand next turn. Man, I love this deck. I love that you could just make plays like that. Yeah, just trying to think out where to play this to maximize my chances of winning the game next turn. But yeah, making plays like double Rat King No AD God Hand, draw 2 cards is it's just the reason to play this deck. It's so much fun. In case you can't tell, I love drawing cards. The Valentine, I guess you're not crazy to play on at this point. I probably would have resigned by now. with only half the resources. But yeah, sticking it through to the end, and luckily for us, the end is going to be the next turn. Blocks only 2 idols, so that's basically free for us. And there we go. So that's 2-0 taking down Valentine. The first match of the top group in the Scrolls League. Yeah, good games, man. It's interesting. It's good to play some late game mirrors instead of playing against the typical mid-range that people play. So it's good fun. So yeah, follow the channel. Leave a comment on the video if you're watching. It's nice to know that people watch, and yeah, there'll be at least 2 more Scrolls videos. I'll say it now. There's also this is the first Scrolls casual tournament, but we have a second Scrolls casual tournament that Weiler is planning right now. There's plenty more spots available. This tournament was 16 players. We're looking for 32 for the next tournament. So if you're watching this video and you're not already signed up for the tournament, I'd highly recommend you join in. You don't have to be good at Scrolls, as evidenced by me somehow beating all these players. No, okay, that was a little rude. I'm joking. I'm joking, guys. Don't kill me. But yeah, even if you're new and you just want to check out the game, what better way to do it than in a casual tournament? So I'll put 2 links in the description, one of them to Call of Spain where you can download the game, and another to the Discord channel for the Casual Scrolls tournament. So you can sign up and play in the next round. I'll probably be playing, may or may not be making videos, remains to be seen. But yeah, so next up we'll be playing WBMC and NRP, 2 other very top players. And yeah, I'll see you then. Let's go for the trophy.